Good morning. And I bet you all of you are glad that you don't have to get in your cars and come to church today, that you can stay in your PJs, lay on your couch and have a blanket and your cup of coffee and go to church. I, on the other hand, had to get up early, get dressed, and be here. And for you, that's my pleasure. So good morning, rainy morning, Unity. And I'm just trusting everybody is well today and happy and having a little bit of the lifting and the stay at home not as predominant, but please remember we're not out of this yet, so stay safe, wear your mask when you're around a lot of people, keep your hands washed, and do all of the things that you're supposed to be doing. So I was cleaning out my office. Actually, it was a couple of weeks ago. I made a commitment that I finally had to do that because it was like a paper war room in here. And I found a poem that my daughter had written actually quite a few years ago. But the title was so apropos for what's going on right now that I thought I would open with that this morning. So the name of this poem is called If I Sit in My Aloneness Long Enough. And is that not apropos for what's going on right now? I believe it is. So my daughter is Nadine Lewis, and this is her poem. It says, if I sit in my aloneness long enough, my breath slows. My thoughts stop swirling. My heart opens. If I sit in my aloneness long enough, I can breathe. My shoulders stop touching my ears. My heart ceases to race. If I sit in my aloneness long enough, my pace becomes deliberate and I can see my world and myself connected by the sacred space of solitude. I am alone, yet part of the world. If I sit in my solitude and listen to the sound of my breath slow down, there is a quiet void between my heart. I taste the salt of my own tears and feel the depth of old sorrow, each tear telling its own story. As I sit with myself in those quiet moments, I leave my tears at the doorstep of the temple, at the feet of the Creator. If I sit with my aloneness long enough, old sorrow and its piercing grief opens my heart, just enough so that sacred space of solitude fills the void between the heartbeats, and what was broken becomes whole. There, at the doorstep of my temple, at the feet of my Creator, I see myself and my world, not separate by pain of chapters long finished, rather connected by the story yet told. And, I read this a couple of weeks ago and I sat with this, and I think a lot of us in this past 2.5 months of sitting with that aloneness have gone through some of these feelings. So I thought that you might like to be a part of that poem. So today we're talking about principles of living, and this is part 1, and next week we'll be doing part 2. And it's a series called The Ideal Made Real. And The Ideal Made Real is a book that was written in, I believe, 1904 by Christian Larson. And he has one of the older beginning New Thought masters. And I've read many of his books, and I really do like his work. So our journey is eternity, and eternity is now. So no matter what we're doing, we're always in the now. We think we're on this big journey, but our journey is always in this very moment. So if our journey is now, then my question is, so now is where it's not my question, my statement is, so now is where we begin. And So last week I spoke about how if we read something, I was speaking about Mother Mary, how we experience something new, or if we read something that really resonates with our being, it moves us so deeply that we begin to embody definite change of perspective about our beliefs and about life. And speaking of last week, excuse me a moment. Speaking of last week, I want to thank so many of you who sent in emails and also texts and saying that you so also were involved in some of your own spiritual paths with Mother Mary and how much that you love that. That was also a part of my life, and also the meditation, which Jackie has now put on MP3, I believe, and you can download it anytime and listen to it. And also, a lot of you said, how do you listen to the talk again? You just go on our page, Unity page, and you can listen to the talk, all of the talks, anytime that you want to, or you can share them with friends, which we encourage you to do. So, so this was my wish then for you, is that last week that would open something new for you, and then moving into that ideal. It made me think of, I want to go back to and read Christian Larson. And I said that we don't have to follow rules to make changes, but rather we have to feel changes within ourselves and follow them. I am a proponent of don't give me rules, because rules just they trigger something of inflexibility, and I like to be so flexible. But if we feel changes, if we feel something coming up within us that is good, and it's opening and it's exciting for us, then we follow that. And that is so much better than a rule being put into our face. So even though there are no rules on this path, there are guidelines. And that's what I see, that there has to be guidelines, there has to be flexibility, so that when crisis or chaos or just uncomfortableness comes to us, we bend and we flow with it rather than breaking. And what I realized in the past few months, and I am guilty of this, believe me, I never say anything out there that I'm not experiencing myself. And the thing is that it is not, we never want to, I never want to break a person. And any time at any level that I feel that, then the anguish of that changes me to become a better person. So there are general guidelines for essential good living. And before anyone can reach that upper story of their mind, that upper story that wants to go to the creator of their life, we have to follow these general principles of living. The need to be second nature, the principles of good living need to be second nature to us. Principles that apply to all of humankind. All, not just us, all of us. So in the song of The Sound of Music, Julie Andrews sings, let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. Okay, I'll stop. So if the proper beginning is realized, then we have to start with the beginning. We have to start with the sound foundation. Start at the beginning. And each day is a new beginning. All of life will flow, and needless waste of time and energy can be avoided, and greatness and goodness can be achieved so much faster. Starting at the beginning. Starting at the beginning each day. See, we cannot give expression to all power within us until we recognize and awaken our spiritual nature. It's there within us. We're born with it. We are spiritual beings, but we cannot awaken our spiritual being until we begin to live with the infinite. and that is from Larson. He says we cannot give expression to all power until we recognize and awaken our spiritual nature. And we cannot awaken our spiritual nature until we begin to live with the infinite, or that which feeds our soul. And that's where I was going last week. We have to wake up this giant, beautiful person within us. Wake him or her up to the goodness of who and what they are. So if we really want to live with the infinite and to have this ideal life and to grow and to prosper in all areas of our life, then we really must consider we have to place ourselves in the hands of Spirit. Your life, my life, is in our own hands. We got the whole world in our hands. And you are the master of your existence. I am the master of my existence. We have to handle your life gently and allow the true master to emerge. It's within us. We have to bring it up. We have to accept it. We have to want it. We have to embody it. So what are the basic essentials of good living? And where do we begin? Learn to be still. How many times have you heard me say we have to learn to be still? So according to Larson, he says the ideal made real. All laws of growth require order, harmony, and stillness. All laws of growth require order, harmony, and stillness. So to live peacefully, one must think, act, and speak peacefully. Because in this realm of peacefulness, you create an environment of receptivity around you, and you invite in that stillness that affords you the luxury of general self-control and poise. We have to create the environment around us and invite that stillness in. And this is really important because a lot of times we go into conversation and there is no stillness, and you come in with a preconceived idea of what this conversation's about, or what this meeting's about, or what this happy hour is about. We come in with this perceived conception, and we don't take a step back and just allow a stillness before words are spoken. And that gives us the luxury of general self-control. Sometimes we're too eager to speak, and we're not willing to just be in the presence of others. Something that I truly think is important, and I truly have in my plans of each and every new day. But here's something that I love about Larson, and here's where I think we get off track, I get off track, is that he is adamant about not trying too hard to be at peace and to be still. And I'm always trying too hard to be that perfect leader, that perfect person, that perfect friend. I don't want to offend, I don't want to hurt. And because I'm so glued to not doing that, I say dumb things, and I do that. So what he's saying is he's adamant about not trying too hard to be at peace or to be still, but rather, he says, just be. How is your being? Not how are you? That is what we need to ask. How's your being? How are you? When I had my own church and I had my own, when we had board meetings or any kind of meeting, I always started with how is your being? and everybody took about 3 minutes to say, I'm great, this is what happened today, or I'm not okay today, so if I'm moody, don't mind me, or I have a cold, or something great happened. But how is your being? Allowing people to just be and let go and never be anxious if I'm doing it right. Am I doing this right? I don't know. We don't know. We just have to be. So it's more about exercising, he says, general control or the direction over your life without it being something that you have to be continuously working on or searching for. We don't have to work at being spiritual. We have to let ourselves be and let spirit come forward. And what we're seeking is it within. So we have to stop searching and looking for it. Dr. Holmes of Centers for Spiritual Living writes, your onward search for spirit culminates in the greatest of all possible discoveries, the finding of life, the center of your own being. Life flows up from within. I love that. Life flows up from within. Can you imagine your body and mind do a free fall into complete relaxation? I would love it the second that I wanted to be into meditation, that I could free fall into complete relaxation. And I will tell you, I am not there yet, but that's something that I would love to happen. Make no effort to relax, just to simply let go. Just let go. You can train yourself to come into this feeling anytime you need, holding yourself free from anxiety and madness and moving in the direction of your purposes, your purpose, your intentions, by gently ordering all your actions to be in harmony with your being. You know, when I was in Toastmasters for many, many years, one of the things that you're taught is that your voice, your facial expressions, and your tone all say the same thing. Is the tone of my voice, is my facial expressions, or my body, is the speech that I'm giving all in congruity with each other? Slipped on that word a little bit. But you know what I mean? It all has to be. So if I say to you, I'm really glad to see you today. I'm so happy you're all here. What does that say? I'm glad you're here, lady. But if I say good morning, I'm so happy to see you, and I'm glad that you're all snuggled in today, and I'm missing you all. That's saying my voice and my expression and my words all mean the same thing. Holding yourself free from anxiety and madness and moving in the direction of your purpose and your intention. This, my dear friends, is the peace that passeth all understanding. See, we live in one mind, one universal mind. And through that one body, the body of our Creator, we are in accord with divine harmony and perfection and poise. We live in that one mind, universal mind, through the one body, the body that is our Creator. So the second thing of this ideal life then is rejoice. Rejoice and be glad. You know, every time when I have, no matter what news station on, and they go towards the end and they tell this great story of something doing. Do you know there was a little kid that was 6 or 7 years old, and he took $60 of his savings and he went to the grocery store and he bought groceries for senior citizens, he and his brother. These are things to rejoice and be glad about. Every time a neighbor or a child or teachers or people bring food to those on the front line, to nurses, this is something to rejoice and be glad about. And it needs to lift your spirit. And if it's not lifting your spirit, get up and dance about it and then think about it again, because this is all good. In all of this mess, there is goodness and there is much to rejoice and be glad about. So being happy, being cheerful is soul food. One of my colleagues from Canada, Reverend Pat Campbell, put out something on Facebook this week, and it says, it's Saturday morning and I got up early and I thought I would get a jump start on my Sunday talk, and I'm still sitting around. How do any of you just get up energy? She was talking to her colleagues. And how do you stay happy and cheerful? And I wrote back, I'm walking around my house singing happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. And then she started laughing and she texts back and she says, when I was 18, I played Bloody Mary. And to be rejoiced and be glad, to be happy. That little thing started a conversation with her. And then I said, put this damn phone down and let's get to work. And we both did. Of course, my talk was a little bit ahead of hers on that Saturday. But it's soul food when we support each other. No, I wasn't happy yesterday afternoon. I don't know why. I was blah. And I texted Renee and said, I'm having a troubling day. And then she said she's having a troubling day. And then I said I took a 3-hour nap at 9 o'clock. And she said I took 2 naps. And then she said, I'm coming over, and put on your tennies. So she came over and we went for a walk and we got air. Rejoice and be glad. My friend heard it. I needed something. I needed light. So what the sun does then for vegetation is what cheerfulness does for the mind, right? The sun feeds the vegetation, cheerfulness feeds our mind. So the challenge then is this: no matter what comes, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Live with the understanding then that all things are happening for a reason. Ours is not to reason why, but find a way to be a part of all solutions. You can cause a change. You can cause a change in the direction of what's happening, and what's happening by your attitude and thoughts. You can. I see it all the time. I see it within myself. I can go from 0 to 180 and start laughing just by one little comment, one little act of kindness. One little thing. That's all it takes, because there's always a brighter side. We just need to turn the lights on. And believe me, I'm not being a mere Pollyanna here and stuffing this stuff. Oh, just laughing, all the world will be fine. No, because this is the truth. Everything I'm saying is the truth, and you know it. You know it's the truth. Because if you look at the brighter side, your energy level automatically goes up. And you become higher and higher, and you're flying. And then you clearly get to see what needs to be done. My friend Renee saw that I needed to get out of my house. And she came. At 5 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, she came and made me, in the cold, in the wind, go out and walk. And I felt good after, and we laughed and had fun. So all of us, me included, all of us absolutely have to start to refuse to get stuck in this drama. Instead, go to first cause, go to spirit, and know there's always an answer for you. I read something this morning when I was journaling and meditating and doing all that stuff. And it says, when all else fails, don't go to God, Go to God first so all else doesn't fail. Does that make sense? Go to first course. Go to center. Go within. Go to God, Holy Mother, Holy Mary, angels, spirit guides. Whatever is your place to, go there. Don't wait for things to fall apart. Go before they fall apart. It's like preventative medicine. Go for a checkup. Don't go when you're sick. And this is difficult. I know that. And sometimes it's impossible at first. But as you continually align yourself with your ideal life, your purpose, your intention, eventually this will become a way of life for you. In the book club, one of the things that everybody did last week is they wrote their own vision and mission, and we're going to discuss that today because everyone should have one. Not just if you're in a leadership role or part of a company, or this is the mission of your little store, but what's your mission? What are you about? What's your vision? So the question then to ask is this: Spirit, what do you want me to see here? So the value of rejoice and be glad is so great, because joy and cheerfulness will increase your power. It will increase your power. And when you go to your higher power, you go to your up story. Allow your soul to feel the music and the harmony of life. Nothing can make you happier and than being in your soul with beautiful music. Nothing can make you happier. On a fortune cookie a while back, it read, I also found this when I was cleaning my office 2 weeks ago: when you are in judgment, there's no room for love. This not only applies to others, it applies to you too. So when we're judging ourselves, there's no room for love. Finding fault never, ever pays. So think about this. Think about being good and kind and loving. And think about it as a royal path to happiness and health, peace of mind and longevity. A royal path. What kind of image does a royal path conjure up for you? The greater life of abundance, everything will come to you if you give your best to yourself and then to others. Your purpose then is to be useful to all life in the largest and the truest sense. And so much good comes back to you in little things. The little things are the miracles that you keep giving more and more. And this universal kindness, it becomes a never-ending gift. So, living a life on purpose, finding your ideal, coming to a place of peace. And today, there is a universal intelligence to lift us up. And in this path, the ideal is made real. The royal path to life is beautiful. So, if you're comfortable right now, and you want to snuggle in, close your eyes, and come with me. And imagine gently, with no fear, free falling into eternal relaxation and stillness. No effort, no trying. Imagine you are on a royal path to love. Set your feet upon this path of joy and peace. Stand firm in your own truth. Do not move a muscle. Breathe in. Breathe in peace. And imagine you are in a crystal sea of the beautiful calm of spirit. Allow the Holy Spirit to enter here. Today, be willing to accept a miracle. Today, affirm the acceptance of radical change. Accept this as a miracle. Know with me that you do not have to give up anything. It's already gone. There is nothing to forgive. Know that God holds nothing against you. It's all forgiven. Those you have hurt and those that have hurt you. Hold nothing against anyone. On the royal path, only love exists. You are on a royal path because you come from the kingdom of God. I invite you to accept this free-flowing love from your heart and send it out into the world. All is made new. This is your truth. And as you slowly and very gently come back to the environment that you're in, remember that your path is royal, it's holy, you own it, there's only love and beauty on it, there is nothing that you hold against yourself or anyone else. You take a deep breath, open your eyes, and know that you have a new truth. Welcome back. And once again, gratitude from myself and your Board of Trustees for all the donations that are coming in during the week. So appreciative. And we are so happy to know that it seems we're coming to a place where we can begin to consider, notice I said consider, opening our center again. Your Board of Trustees will be meeting this week via Zoom or in the office, we don't know yet, to discuss all of the guidelines that we pulled from the county that have been issued, and to find a successful and safe and prudent way of coming back. So we don't have an answer to that yet, but we will keep you informed. Also, we did send out some guidelines that came to us from Unity Worldwide Ministry, and we are asking you to please send back or drop off in the mailbox the little questionnaire so we can get an idea of what you're feeling about coming back to the center and what you would like to see happen. So please do that for us this week, as it's really important for us to make our decisions for you and for your safety. So anyhow, announcements for today are Zoom book club will be this week. I'll send out the invitation as soon as I get off this live streaming. And of course, the Miracles is on Friday night at 5:30, and that is being held in the prayer circle. We did that last week, and we just took chairs and we separated from each other and had masks on and didn't touch, didn't hug, and all of those good things. So it was good to be together with people, and we will then continue doing that at home. Eventually, we will do prayer circle at the center, but for right now, it's still Wednesday on Zoom until the board makes a decision on how to further open the center. So that's all that I have for this week. I want you to be well, be happy, take good care of yourself, take good care of your family, and know for sure that we will see each other soon. I love you. God bless you, and all of you be well. Thank you. See you next week.